This is what's in my camera bag. Starting off with the bag itself. I got the Peter McKinnon X Nomadic camera bag. This is the bigger one, or the first version that he put out. I've had this bag for about 2 years now. Loved it. It's amazing. It's very durable, and as you can see, it is beat up pretty good from using it in the mountains, hiking, and all sorts of different areas like that. So yeah, let's get into what I took on my most recent trip to Australia and New Zealand. Now, this is my first international trip using this guy. Starting with the tablet, the backside of the bag. It's got a laptop holder, which I just keep an iPad Pro. This was a new addition to my kit. My old laptop was giving me trouble and it was running really slow. And the only thing I really use the laptop for on trips and traveling is just transferring photos from the camera to an external hard drive to back them up for the day. Maybe do some light editing, which guess what? With the iPad Pro and Lightroom and the Apple Pencil, they make that really easy and able to edit photos on the iPad. It's fantastic. I love it. That's that. Moving on to the main goodies. Now, what you're watching right now is the camera that should be here. It is the Canon R6 Mark II. Now, I found out I was going on this trip around early November, and I had been using the Canon 70D for the last 6 years. And I was like, I kind of want to upgrade my kit before I go on a giant photo video trip and not have the best looking video and images I can get. And I was looking at the R6 and I realized that the Mark II was about to drop. So I went to my local camera shop, talked to them. They all thought that it would be a good upgrade, especially skipping the R6 Mark I. If you have the R6 Mark I, there's not too big of a difference between the two cameras. So I didn't have that one, so they were like, yeah, probably be a good idea to see if you can get it before you go. Thankfully it did. I put a pre-order in and it showed up from B&H, but it showed up before the trip happened and I was very excited for that. So that's what is recording right now. Also, the 16 to 35 f2.8 are the lens that's made for that version. I love the 16 to 35, one of my favorite lenses of all time. Other lenses that I took, actually we'll start from the back since we're here. Up here I've got notebook, just to write notes and keep track of things as time goes on. I do like a notebook. I know I got an iPad that can write as well. Sometimes a notebook is just nice to have. And then I think I've got, yep, little Fisher space pen. That's a favorite pen, love it. So light, so little. Flip it out into a full-size pen then. But yeah, when it's stored down, it is much tinier. So we got that. Then top kit here, just a little tool kit to change the adapters around on the camera. Allen wrench, flathead screwdriver, a different Allen wrench, plus some more Peak designed adapters for the camera, because I do have a strap coming up. Down here, this is my storage. This is where I keep my SSD that I use to back up the footage, and yeah, just extra backup as in case the iPad fills up or anything like that. Can have 2 storage spots there. An adapter for the iPad to be able to plug in USB, HDMI, SD cards, micro SD. Fantastic for the iPad Pro. Plug in via USB-C and you can hook up everything and transfer data that way. And the old SD card holder with all all the SD cards you could ever need for a giant trip like that. I actually didn't go through as many as I thought I would. I thought I'd use up a whole lot more data with how much I was shooting, but I actually didn't, and I was pleasantly surprised because this is the first time I've actually been traveling with a camera capable of shooting 4K. So I thought I would be really pumping out the data, but it was actually pretty fine. Lenses I took on the trip. The 85mm 1.4, fantastic zoom lens, or a fantastic tight angle lens. I don't have a 70-200, that's a wish list item, but this thing is doing great for the time being. Love the 85mm. Also the 50mm, you know, the nifty 50 with the adapter for the new camera, because the 85 and this one won't work unless you have an adapter. So I picked up the newer adapter. I didn't pick up the Canon one because it was just really expensive, so I picked up the newer one, and it worked great, and I didn't have any trouble with it. Rain cover for the pack, always good to have. I think I used it twice on the trip where it was raining hard enough and I was outside that I kind of wanted a pack cover, so pack cover. This, actually we'll go here first. ND card, ND filters and circular polarizers for the 85 and the 16-35. So I've got ND filter for each of those lenses and a circular polarizer for each of them, and those just live in this nice little case that took me a while to find the right one to fit all of these ND filters in and stuff, but this thing's worked great. Of course, gotta have a drone. Got the Mavic Air 2? Question mark? I think so. Pretty sure it's the Mavic Air 2. This thing is fantastic. Used it quite a bit over there. Didn't use it as much as I thought I might, because there were a lot of no-fly zones and stuff like that in the places we were staying, so wasn't able to use it as much as I would have liked, but still a great drone. With the drone, extra batteries. Gotta have extra batteries. Now, I don't know where the charger for the drone is. I can't find it right now, which is not good, but that usually lived in the bag as well. That way I could always charge the drone, whether we were at a coffee shop or anything like that, and I needed to get a little charge in. Camera charger. Kept that with the bag. That way, if I had the bag, I had a charger for the camera. Hiya! Extra batteries. Got the Think Tank little battery pouch. Got 3 extra batteries for the R6 Mark II. This was plenty for a whole day of pretty hard use, having 3 fully charged batteries. Now, at the one house we stayed at, we couldn't charge. The outlets were not working for some reason. So that day was kind of rough as far as not being able to charge up all the batteries back up to the way I wanted to. Controller for the drone. Basic, you know, got the drone, you gotta have the controller to control it. This is the Peter McKinnon little box that it came with. The bag came with this when I got it. This is like my audio bag, but at the moment I am using most of the audio gear from it, so there's not much. Usually, the H4 Zoom, H4n, it lives in there. But right now I'm using it to record with the lav, and it doesn't fit in the box, or it doesn't fit in the pouch with that. I've also got the Rode Wireless Go 2 system. That's also recording me right now. Here's the other bit that I'm not using. But in here I've just got the little windscreens for it, the lavalier mic pouch, some extra props for the drone, some spare batteries, always good to have. And then up top, I've got charging cables for the Rode Wireless Go, plus some ND filters for the drone. So all of this lives in this pouch, but usually when I'm using it, it just stays in use, or out of the bag, I guess. So that's it for the main compartment. moving on to the front. All right, so the front of the bag got a lovely spot to keep the wallet. Got the Ridge wallet. Also, the car keys of whatever vehicle we were driving for the day, those lived here whenever we got out of the car. Also, if you're traveling internationally, gotta have your passport. This did stay in the bag with me the entire time. The location did sometimes move around depending on where we were and whatnot, but yeah, passport stayed with me the whole time. That's it for that. Moving on to the massive front pouch. Yeah, it's pretty big in here. This bag holds a lot of goodies, and I really like it for that. Up top, battery brick. Very, very useful thing to have to be able to charge phones, whether you're out hiking or just away from a place to charge. You can charge the iPad, you can charge your phone multiple times off this guy. It is big and heavy, but it works very well. Then cables, obviously. Gotta have cables to charge your things. Those also lived here. AirPods, you know, listen to music while you're hiking, whatever. Didn't use this much. This is a little phone tripod holder, I guess. Something to hold your phone up. Little folds like that so that you can put your phone in there and then you can use your phone as a little tripod, set it up. Didn't actually use it that much, but it's kind of useful to have sometimes. More power. The front bit was usually a lot of power things related to just charging and keeping things alive so that I could use them later. Moving on to this front bit. I carried a headlamp with me for the whole trip because you never know when you might need a little headlamp. This did come in useful, like late at night going out to the car to get something. This thing was, you know, versus your phone, you just have a little flashlight. Having a flashlight is very useful on any trip, in my opinion. I got some keychains which just live on the bag. Got a koala, I got a Wookiee, and the New Zealand, I guess, logo. I don't know what it's called, but it's like the leaf. And then in the main pouch here, I kept, usually this hoodie that I'm wearing right now lived here as well. It wasn't always cold enough to require a hoodie, but in the mornings and evenings, a hoodie was very nice to have. So this hoodie lived on top of this, cinched down with these straps here. So the hoodie lived on top of all the power gear. Also, rain jacket. I knew it was gonna be probably a bit windy and rainy over there. So I kept a rain jacket in my camera bag the whole time. This thing did come in handy multiple times, just so I didn't have to get soaking wet while I was out and about. But yeah, a rain jacket in the camera gear, very nice to have. And last but not least, right before we left, I picked up, I'm not a huge fan of straps for my camera. I usually just use them freehand. But having experience walking around and carrying a camera all day in one arm and switching to the other, it's really annoying sometimes when you're not shooting and using it the entire time. So I did pick up the Peak Design strap, which I've got the little doodads thingy-babobs on the camera. So if we were in an area for longer than whatever, I'd whip this thing out, throw the camera in there and throw it over my shoulder. That way I can just not have to carry it or worry about it, but it was at least still out. I wanted the camera to be easily accessible while I was walking, whether or not I was actually going to use it or not. I wanted it nearby, but I didn't want to hold it. So I picked this thing up. I quite like it. I need to use it more because I really didn't use it as much as I thought, but it was very handy to have while we were over there. So yeah, that is a brief rundown of what is in my camera bag right now and what I took on an international trip. Thank you all for watching the What's in My Camera Bag for 2023. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel and lets other people know that it's a decent video. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I would much to hear what kind of gear you're using. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.